To right. Welcome back, billionaires. We're doing. Have you all been reading? Have you all been reading? A. Leo Schachter's In the Company of Mushrooms. So I finished chapter 1 and the summary. Rather than reading it, I think y'all should read it too. It's not that great. It's okay. It might get better. But yeah, chapter 1, Mushrooms in Our Midst. 1991, discovery of Ötzi in the French, Swiss Alps, in the Alps region. The Ötzi had 3 kinds of shelf fungus on him. One of them was used as a tinder, as a fire making mushroom for up until matches were made. But Ötzi lived 5 to 5,500 years ago, and had mushrooms on him, and so probably much older, 10,000, 20,000, 30, 50,000 year old technology of using mushrooms for traveling purposes. But Ötzi is a famous example of it. He brings up the Holy Bible and the Quran. Who gives a fuck what they say? But basically, they don't say much about mushrooms. Written evidence of fungi use that comes down to us is primarily Greek and Roman and Asian, Chinese cultures. We're using funguses, mushrooms, mycelium fungus a long time ago, 10,000 years ago easily. But he specifically references Greek and Roman, which is just a bias on his part, being from the far Western Asia, where they no longer call it Asia. Europe, stupid mythological term. We're all Africans. Yeah, but yeah, the Greek and Roman, texts that he references, basically he calls out that they're confusing and contradictory. I would say stupid. But yeah, Charles de la Clusius was his Latinized name that he went by. Born in the Netherlands in 1526. Lived to 81 years old. 1607 died. Wow. Wrote a treatise, A Brief Inquiry into Fungi of Pannonia. Pannonia, Panonia, is the name of the region that's now known as Czechoslovakia, not called that anymore, whatever it is, that Bohemia type of area. And he wrote about 25 or so mushroom groups with watercolor illustrations. And other people did a better job of telling you what you could eat, but he did one of the rather thorough, what did they call it, the Renaissance era, when we finally stopped being a little less uncivilized in the far west of Asia. Then a little later, Florentine Pietro Antonio Micheli. I think this was the person that was part of the Medici family, funding him. Micheli, like many later mycological researchers, was not a university professor or an academic in the usual sense. Born to modest means, became a botanist to the court of Duke Cosimo III of the Medici family. Did I hear the Medici family is still around? Are y'all still billionaires? Are y'all hiring atheists? I could. I'd like. I'd like to do something other than sit on the sideline and watch you stupid people sell mythology to each other and fight about it. I'd like to do that. Um, yeah. Are you patrons to the atheists? Are there any billionaire patrons to the atheists out there listening? Interested in mycelium and mushrooms? Hit me up. Yeah. So yeah, Florentine, 1679 to 1737, did science experiments. Put it into the question of where do mushrooms come from, and he put it together that fungus and mycelium looking stuff is where fruiting bodies come from, and that you could start out with just the spores, just the material from the fruiting bodies, and make more fungus, more mycelium on things. Put it on plants and leaves and stuff, and yeah, did some early science for the rich people at the time. Yeah, on page 65, there's a reference to the bad science of the Jews. Quote, they do not draw their nourishment from the ground, but from the air, talking about mushrooms, which is not true. Or of the Americas, not to pick on just the Jews, or the Semites, but right, the merciless savage heathens that we, rescued the land from in the Americas, right? They said mushrooms are flowers of the earth. Both of these things are stupid. If anything, mushrooms get their nourishment from the ground more than plants do. Plants get most of their nourishment right from the air. If you didn't know that, true, very interesting. Yeah, learn science. It's good for you. So yeah, some fungi, mycelium, and fruiting bodies produce bioluminescence, which people have used in wood as well as yeah. So the mycelium will disperse in wood, and then people would use the chunks of wood, planks of wood, as sort of signposts in the dark at night and stuff to find their way around. I thought that was pretty interesting. Gorillas fight over mushrooms. Yeah, they talk about Diane Fossey in there. Made some observations of gorillas fighting over shelf fungus that apparently they like. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that's the summary of chapter 1. Right? Yeah. And yeah, hope y'all are reading along and enjoying. And you merciless savages, go fuck yourself. Merciless savage theists, go to hell. The rest of y'all, good luck. It's pretty savage out there.